Hi, I'm Kelly Chase and this is History Detective, and today I want to introduce you to the woman on the $100 note, the original Aussie opera diva, Dame Nellie Melba. I first heard about Dame Nellie Melba through my love of crackers and dip. When I was growing up, there were these little tiny crackers that looked like little tiny pieces of bread called Melba toast, and I learned that they were named after the famous prima donna, Dame Nellie Melba. The word prima donna has two meanings. You might associate it with someone who thinks they are talented and has a temperamental personality, but the other meaning is the one that Nellie Melba fits into. It means the female lead singer in an opera. Nellie Melba was born in Melbourne in 1861, and Nellie Melba was not her name. She was originally Helen Porter Mitchell, but when she moved to Europe to complete some operatic training, she adopted the stage name Nellie Melba. And the Melba part was a tribute to the city of Melbourne where she was born. There are so many interesting stories about Dame Nellie Melba's life. There is her troubled marriage to a chap named Charles Nesbitt Frederick Armstrong, who was a trained boxer and often became domestically violent towards Nellie. There was her public affair with Prince Philippe, Duke of Orleans, and the fact that her husband challenged him to a duel. Her concerts would attract up to 10,000 people, and she was a supporter of the women's suffrage movement. She also supported conscription and did fundraising concerts for World War I, not to mention that she was the first Australian to feature on the cover of Time magazine, among many other achievements. The thing that always comes up when people talk about Nellie is her incredible vocal range, almost 3 octaves. Now, if you don't know what an octave is, it is a series of 8 notes in a scale. Nellie's full singing range was from B flat below middle C to F 2 octaves up. In the 1920s, Nellie Melba wrote a book which was an instructional guide to become an opera singer called The Melba Method. She released the book while she was on her farewell tour of England, which was quite a savvy business move. I'm not sure which farewell tour. She had so many farewell tours that she became the butt of a joke. The book actually caused a little bit of controversy amongst the singing teachers of the world who disagreed with A, her method, and B, that you could learn from a book. What follows is some of the advice that Dame Nellie Melba imparted in the Melba Method. In the beginning, she had a section called Notes for the Teacher or Accompanist. Nellie is kind of making a presumption that you have a personal opera coach or a personal piano player. One of her first pieces of advice is, in order to sing well, it is necessary to sing easily. She mentions how often musicians and singers make it look easy and makes the point that we should sing without unnecessary muscular action. Everyone is self-conscious instead of being conscious of self. The former is fatal to success. The latter is entirely necessary. So basically, stop caring about what others think and send the attention to yourself. Nellie then discusses the role of fear and how that makes you stiffen your muscles. Her advice on diet is as follows. Food should be plain and nourishing. Every type of rich food and sweet food should be avoided. Her other little zinger is cocktails and cigarettes must not even be in the singer's vocabulary. Nellie explains the importance of having control over your breath. It is not the air in your lungs that causes the voice, but the air that is leaving that causes the vocal cords to vibrate. Her breathing rules are, it takes only a little breath to set the cords moving. The less breath you use, the better the tone will be. And never lift your chest and shoulders. Breathing should be done in the diaphragm. Her next piece of advice is to sing happily, because happiness relaxes the muscles and fear clenches them. In another piece of advice, she wants you to treat the music with respect by analysing the lyrics, enunciating the words and pronouncing words correctly. And I quote her here, so that educated ears may not be irritated. Another of her rules is that a singer must be healthy and fit and take regular exercise daily. She specifically says that walking is okay, but it is not enough and that you should have a teacher. She also suggests not relying on others, but training your own ears to listen to your mistakes, and that you should not mimic others, but find your own voice. And finally, never practice without concentrating, but don't force it. Be still and quiet and focus on the music. The next section is about stance. You need to have your weight evenly distributed on both feet and put your shoulders back. This ideally should be done in front of a mirror. She also insists that practice be regular and to write up a timetable. So, eat healthy, don't drink or smoke, keep fit, relax and sing like no one's listening, understand the meaning of what you're singing, breathe into your diaphragm, and practice often. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and in the description below you'll find a link to my website where you'll find a list of references and links to teaching resources. And I have just released my new book called History, Her Story, Our Story. So if you want more stories about inspirational women, there is a link to this book below. This is Kelly Chase on The Case. I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this video is being recorded today. I pay my respects to the elders and knowledge holders, past, present, and emerging.